What's up, everybody? Welcome into another Docs Daily. It is Monday. I don't have my watch on. It's something. It's real close to Christmas, the 22nd.
December 22nd. You believe it?
I know. I don't know. It is what I don't know. I can't. I don't. That's just the easy answer. Is really I just don't. I don't get it. I don't. Yesterday it was my birthday. Yesterday I feel like we were in a cabana at the Circa, Craig Trapp. We were in the pool. I feel like it was
my birthday
last weekend for your birthday. Yeah.
My birthday's in June.
Mine too. Just, mine too. That's what I'm saying. I feel like for our birthdays, we were like, it was just my birthday. And I blanked Halloween. I don't remember Halloween. What happened, folks?
The Crown Royal brain. That's
Crown
what it
Royal,
is.
that's what happened. And there's a new Blackberry Crown Royal out. That's me likey. Me likey a lot. That's what I had yesterday.
We'll give you his address. Send a message. We'll send you can send all gifts from Blackberry Crown Royal to Lenny.
Please. I'll tell you what, Docs Daily's here Monday through Friday, 1 o'clock Eastern. We will not be here Thursday. I will be opening gifts. Listen, I might drop in with a quick little live in the morning. I have teenagers, so I'm the first one up. I'm like, yay, Santa came on Christmas morning, and then my teenagers just want to sleep till noon because they're like, shut up, But we will be here every day except for Thursday. We're here Monday through Friday, 1 o'clock Eastern. Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern is what we got going on there. Don't forget about the free 60 new customers, free $60 account. Links in the description of the video. DocSports.com/free60. Use that $60 on any camper you want over at the website. Any premium picks. Craig Trapp's probably got a few things going on today. Great way to try that out. Free 60. It's $30 a day, or props are $25 a day. So you can use that week pass, day pass, multiple cappers. You do you, Pikachu. And also don't forget about the premium members. If you haven't become the newest, hottest thing on YouTube this year has been Doc Sports premium memberships. It starts at $4.99. Then it goes to $19.99 for level 2, and level 3 is $49.99. Buy it on the desktop. Otherwise, the Play stores charge you more money. $4.99, you get me. $19.99, you get me and Indian Cowboy. $49.99, you get me, Indian Cowboy, and that guy. That guy, 7 days a week. You know how he is in videos. 7 days a week, he don't miss. 7 days a week, he'll give you 1 or 2 of his plays, 1 or 2 from the website, usually 2 or 3 unit stuff. You got to supply your own members only jacket. We supply all the winners. You buy the jacket. That's how I tell you.
I think today, let me just double check. There's a 3-unit and 2 4-units. I gave you one of my 4-unit plays, a 4-unit from our favorite other capper that I won't say who it is, but then another 3-unit consensus play on the Monday Night Football game. So if you like that, go over there.
All right, there you
go.
Level
3.
There you go. That's enough of we've been plugging stuff for 3.
Hey, Lenny, I got a serious question though. You got the Santa Claus hat on, and this is, I think, the hardest year I've had of my 50-year career. This is a 50-year life. I guess that would be career too. Career. And probably the toughest career year as far as handicapping. I don't know why. And this is by far, by the way, I'm 4 more days till my anniversary here at Doc Sports, 1 year. And then coming up on 23rd year of a handicapping year. So, it's been a rough year. I don't know. It's like some of the winners and losers isn't necessarily the thing. It's just been the most wacky year. Yesterday, we saw it on Thursday. It started on Thursday this week in that Seattle game.
Started on Thursday. You're right.
I still don't think you should be able to have a backwards pass fumble that goes for a touchdown. I don't know. To me, that was the most whacked out play ever.
Yeah, NFL. I'll tell you what. The biggest problem, the biggest takeaway of the NFL season for me, and it should be for a lot of people, not just people in our business that bet on sports, but just in general, officiating is a problem. I'm not going to sit here and complain.
Not just officiating, but the rules. The rules in general are a problem. You know what I mean? It's the way.
I also think that they don't know. They huddle to talk about what should be done and this and that, and they don't. I don't think they're properly trained. I don't think the referee committee.
The Lions, I thought, the Lions did it to themselves a little bit. Don't get me wrong.
100%.
They were put in a bad position.
About the rest,
but like that offensive pass interference. I'm sorry, that was an offensive pass interference. Not on the game.
So so there was 2 on that drive. The one touchdown they took back. The one for Amon-Ra St. Brown, the last play of the game, that was a pass interference on him.
I didn't think so.
He initiated contact. The other one,
dude, that's on every play. That's on every play. He was wide
open. Yeah, exactly. And he was wide open when there was a little crossing pattern, and Isaac Tesla went in. That's who the penalty was on. Yeah. He posted a pick. The problem is that is illegal if he makes contact initially after 5 yards. He didn't make the initial contact. Pittsburgh did. So that's a clean play. And then that should have been a touchdown. But Dan Campbell reminds me of my old Lions because he shot himself in the foot. And I knew it in the first half when he went for it on 4th and 2. And I'm like, just take the points. Just take the points here. This is a long game.
That. What did we like?
And he didn't take the points. They didn't get it. And I said that would end up biting him in the ass. If they would have been in that situation on that last drive, now they're kicking a field goal. They win that game by 1 point for a field goal. Maybe they don't need a touchdown. Instead, they put themselves in a bad situation. They continue to put themselves in situations where the refs control the game. Now we have the only way we're in is like, this needs to happen, this, and this.
Yeah, you're not getting in.
Whatever.
They're not getting in. The Ravens aren't getting in. It's
also bullshit that we have to play on Thanksgiving and Christmas. Like Thanksgiving, don't take that away from us. That's our tradition forever. I don't want to play on Christmas though.
I think if you probably don't you think maybe not, but don't you think a lot of players actually want to it's a big reward to play on Christmas for the NBA players. Like they really want to. Now maybe once you've been in
the NFL, I don't know.
Once you've been in the league a long time, maybe that's like okay, especially the NBA where you've played 10 years in a row on Christmas. But I still think it's probably a pretty big, it's a big thing to play on Thanksgiving. Players really like it in the NFL. So maybe it is, maybe it isn't. There isn't a whole lot of other sports going on. Everybody's watching you. I think it's a chance to, make a name for yourself.
It's a shine. I mean, listen, I think we can beat Minnesota, sure, but
I don't know if we can beat McCarthy's out, I guess. I kind of got screwed on that one.
I wish he was in. I wish he was in.
He's looked good. I mean, I got so screwed. I had Minnesota -3 yesterday, and I get to push with the backup quarterback. Basically, the only thing they scored was that where they hit him and fumbled, and they scored a touchdown.
The Packers are in real bad shape, man. They lost. What's his name?
They're in bad shape as far as I don't think they can win it now with the injuries unless something changes drastically. But they were going to get in. So. I don't know. I don't know what you do in the NFL. The NBA, it's the Achilles issues that we saw at the end of last year. Everybody had one, and now it's like every time someone has a calf injury, everybody's scared to death they're going to tear their Achilles. The star player when they do come back. The NFL is just, the injuries are it's just killing it.
There's talk of Patrick Mahomes sitting out next year to fully heal from that ACL.
Well, I think RG3 started that because RG3 said you should sit out next year because
and maybe he just sparked that rumor now that a few people have talked about it, but
I don't see that happening. First of all, it's a different world.
He's got to talk about his there's no if they're going to rebuild, if they go to him and say, "Hey, we're going to rebuild," like Travis Kelce's retiring, whatever, it's overdue. We're going to rebuild some of that line. We're going to get healthier, this and that. You sit out a year, let us suck and just be mediocre, get another round of draft, and then 2027, we're going hard again.
That's just not the way it does in the NFL.
Doesn't that make sense?
First of all, I get it. They lost to the Titans, so people are like, hey, this dynasty's done. Dude, it was either they were going to get way up and play for the team, and that didn't happen, obviously. But it's like, dude, they still have very good players. And if Patrick Mahomes comes back, 85% of himself, they're still going to be just fine. I don't think that's going anywhere. Now, if Andy Reid retires, okay, that might signal that something's going to go down.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know.
Patriots are legit, dude. I've known this for a few weeks, but for real. I get it. The Ravens aren't.
I was going to say, the teams we thought were going to be good just aren't good this year. Let's be honest.
changing of the guard in some aspects. I mean, I think the Ravens.
This is what the NFL want. This is what the salary cap and getting higher draft picks for the teams that are worse are. This is what the NFL wants. That every year we have different teams that can win it all, and we don't have these ridiculous dynasties, and we have teams that are interesting going into the last week of the year, like Carolina, Tampa Bay. They play again last game of the year, I believe, right? So that is going to come down to that's important. That was important for Carolina because if not, Tampa Bay would have had to lose twice for them to get in. So now I don't think it really matters what happens this week, right? It really is going to come down to whoever wins that last week. It's going
to be a blah, like tread super lightly because
some teams it's important, but that division.
Well, week 18, we talk about Detroit, Chicago. I've been talking about that for 17 weeks. But how about this matchup we're going to see?
But if Detroit loses this week, next week doesn't even matter.
Doesn't even matter, right? Doesn't even matter. But assume whatever. How about the Chargers and the Broncos last game of the year in Denver? For them. I mean, that's going to be a good game.
It's a bigger thing for Denver, in my opinion, because the Mile High Air is no joke. We've seen teams in fourth quarters have lost all until last week against the Jaguars. All the teams that were leading in fourth quarter, remember they had a 20-point fourth quarter and came back. It's like teams just run out of steam there. So it's a much bigger thing. Chargers don't really have that big of home field advantage, but they don't want to go to Denver. So potentially. So obviously that's the catch. Like if you said to the Chargers, you got to go to, I don't think people are scared of the Patriots. That might be at their own peril, but I don't think people are scared of the Patriots.
Like I'll be looking forward.
What did the Patriots do that scares you?
I know they had I just like the way they play. I mean,
right, but is it their passing game? Is it their running game? Is their defense especially?
I mean, I thought they played the early win in the beginning of the year in Buffalo. They win by like a field goal in Buffalo.
Yeah, but they were winning the entire game that one. So
but I'm just saying that that defense kind of held Buffalo, in check a little bit. I mean, other than that, that was the only win that really stood out to me. The Ravens team again.
Look up. I don't have my computer's acting up right now. Look up the stats in NFL. Where do they rank as far as passing? Like offense versus defense, and then because I'm guessing they're probably like one of the few teams that's in like say the top 10 in both. Like Denver's probably up there, Chargers probably up there, but I think there's a lot of teams that are like hey, we're like I think the Eagles are really good on defense. Like I think their defense is going to have to carry them. That's a team I think New England, the Chargers, and the Broncos all can beat you in different ways, which is a little scary, but it's like, okay, what are you hanging your hat on in the playoffs?
That's fair. We got a couple of questions about early college basketball here. Love to talk about what is SHU versus Townsend.
All right, let me look at it.
Within the 11.5. Lord Pred's been being at home after a loss. I'll tell you what, folks, I did not get into college basketball today. I know there's a lot, but Monday
I got into the late games. These early games scare me. I think games before like 7:00 because players aren't used to being playing on a weekday at 2:00. Like that's just a tough body clock. It's one thing when you're in the NBA and you change times. These guys are pros. These guys are not used to this, and so I stayed away from all the early games. Let me just look at it real quick and see if anything jumps out.
I hear you stop Gio in here talking about the Lions, and yes, Lions still coming to town like Christmas. It's like Santa Claus. I mean, we're coming in hot. I mean, I think we're going to be very upset about this win or this loss against the Steelers, and we're going to beat the shit out of the Vikings.
I don't love the Sacred Heart Townsend game. It's HSU. If I was leaning towards this one, I probably would take Townsend. I just hate these early games on a Monday at 2:00. Like,
right.
I don't know. There's some late games I like in college hoops. Let me give you a late game that I like. Let me
Let's talk about that.
To the schedule here. Me and IC, of course, do five or six different college basketball games every day, and we did so today. First and foremost, Davidson, Kansas. Davidson's 6 plus 16.5. I like them. Kansas doesn't play again until January 3rd, and they've had a really tough schedule. This is one like, hey, they're all leaving to go. I would say most of them, probably 98%, are leaving to go home to spend time with the family and have the extended break. And it's like, oh, Davidson lost to Temple at home. Temple's okay, but like at home to lose as a 6-point favorite, I think Davidson gets way up, obviously, to play Kansas, and I think it's a big letdown spot. Ton of points. This isn't a Kansas team like we've seen with like Paul Pierce and company where they've got 7 pros on the team. I do think they have a nice team. I just think this isn't quite Bill Self's best team ever. But that's just the way it is in college basketball, by the way, this year. I think there's about 4 teams that are really good. Everybody else, there's like 10 more teams that could make a run and win it. But like, I just think it's a little more watered down.
I applaud you for being involved in like small market schools and really knowing your stuff, so to speak, because I get overwhelmed by college basketball in these small market schools. And then I look at the, ranked schools and it's no fun. Like there's no value in Arizona minus 38, 40 points or North Carolina minus 25, 26 points. I'll never get involved in that. Now, Kansas, Davidson, that's still a lot of points.
I've always followed Davidson ever since Steph Curry left there, just because, like he put them on the map, obviously. And since then, they've had some really good teams. Of course, McKillop, whatever that coach that was there, is not there anymore. I think he retired a couple years ago. So it's a little different program now, but it's still, Steph Curry's still what they call them, the general managers now. These basically, to draw attention to their alma mater. So it's pretty cool atmosphere. I think the NBA is way more interesting today. And remember the NBA, be careful because a lot of these teams play today and tomorrow, or they just play today. Then they play on, of course, on Christmas. And a lot of teams, they put so much focus. We already talked about it. The Christmas Day games are such a big thing. So be careful. Look at the schedule on who's playing today, tomorrow, and if they play again on Friday for Christmas.
Yeah, because there'll be a lot of rest, so to speak, in those.
Or you just give them a few extra minutes off. Like instead of a lot of guys are getting 3 minutes a quarter off, like stars. So now instead of 3, they might be like 4.5, where they're trying to gather them basically 5 or 6 less extra minutes because they played today, tomorrow, and Thursday, or just today and Thursday. And remember, when the guys that are playing on Christmas and they're traveling, or even they're not traveling, they do Christmas like on Wednesday. So with their families and stuff.
Early. Think about that. Yeah, that's a lot. Football, Washington State money line, Illinois minus 3.5, college basketball, San Fran minus 2.5. What do you think? That's a lot. Is that some parlay?
Well, I like Washington State. I did a video on this, so check it out. I think Washington State had a pretty good year. It's such wacky. Go look at Washington State's schedule. They play Oregon State twice because of the scheduling issues with the Pac-12 disbanding.
Oh, yeah.
But Washington State played the who's who and was this close to beating a lot of them. Got revenge on Oregon State the second time. I think they're the play in this spot. But be careful. These early day bowl games, we saw it on the Myrtle Beach Bowl. I think it was Friday. Was it Friday? And it was over before it started. Kennesaw State, it was like didn't even get out of bed. And I think Kennesaw State
a little bit. I was on Western Michigan, so I was happy about that. They didn't get out of bed. But then I was on Memphis the early. Yeah, no, they did not.
I don't like early day bowl games unless they're on the weekend. I like the evening bowl games because let's be honest, a lot of these kids are in one spot for 5-6 days and they're having fun, they're doing all this stuff, and all of a sudden, I walk through practices, they don't get anybody hurt, and all of a sudden now you got to ramp it back up. At that one, the Myrtle Beach Bowl was at 11 a.m., which was nuts. What did you think of, first and foremost, and I'll give us some more opinions. What did you think of the playoffs? Obviously, the big comeback by Alabama, and then, it was never close after that. They were down 17-0.
I was all about Alabama, so that made me happy. But I don't know.
I thought Ole Miss looked great, but obviously they had already beat Tulane. That was my best play of the week.
I was on my play for Ole Miss that game, and I kicked myself in the ass because I wanted to play the under the whole game, but then I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I'll get any points out of Tulane. Tulane's defense looks good all year. Maybe they can hold. Maybe Ole Miss won't run up the score. I had the team total under 37.5, and they scored 41. So I was like, that'll hurt.
The game of the weekend or the week was obviously Miami and A&M.
Yeah,
one Miami. We talked about it. They're the most talented team as far as just sheer prospects, especially defensive offensive linemen, which I think in college football. That's a lot of what's won in the trenches.
Right.
And they pretty much dominated that, just like we thought they would. It'll be interesting what happens next round for them. Obviously, Oregon beat up on James Madison, but James Madison did cover. He went 99 yards on the last possession to cover. I had it in a teaser. I had it in a teaser both ways, Lenny.
Wow.
Both ways. So I won.
Look at you.
That was.
I'm so proud of you, Craig Trapp.
I was thinking of you when I did it. And
yeah,
I teased
of course
Miami.
You were.
And then
with Lenny, this is what you got to ask yourself right before you make a bet. Would Lenny do this? And if he would, maybe not a great idea. That's when
I think there's that was a solid play. Now obviously now that these teams have won, now we start looking ahead for the next round, and I'm getting to the lines here. Miami, OSU 9.5-point favorites. I thought that
Miami.
I was thinking it was going to be 7.5, so I'm a little surprised.
Do you think they have a shot?
I think the under.
Straight up.
Just looking at it right away, I'm thinking under. I don't know how.
Yeah.
These defenses are both pretty good. Defenses might have to score. I do think Miami has a shot to win.
I'm not trying to
think they will outright, but I do think they have a chance.
I'm not. Well, I'm not. I try to put aside my hate for Ohio State.
Is that the Rose Bowl? No, Indiana's in the Rose Bowl.
Yeah. No. Yeah, that's the Cotton Bowl. The Rose Bowl is Bama and Indiana. Yeah. Which I don't think Alabama has a shot.
Where's the Oregon? Obviously, Ole Miss. Let's first of all, Alabama, Indiana. Indiana's favored by 6.5. Ole Miss, Georgia. That's in New Orleans, so that is going to be. I mean, in the South with two SEC teams again. Georgia's favored by 6.5. The first matchup, Ole Miss was up the entire game at Georgia and fell apart late in the fourth quarter. I think Georgia had to score 17 late to win that game. So that's interesting, even though Lane Kiffin, they look fine without him. Obviously, they played Tulane, but Oregon, Texas Tech. That one's in Jerry World, right?
The Orange Bowl.
Orange. Oh, yeah. The other one's in Jerry World. Texas Tech is an underdog by 1. Oregon's favorite by 1.
Bowl's in Miami. And then
Oregon's favored by 1. I was shocked. I thought Texas Tech would be favored by 1. Not that matters. It's 1.
Right now, there's a teaser happening in my head with Texas Tech, Indiana, Ole Miss, and Miami.
All right. So we said the lines. What do you think just right now, the highest public percentage of bets on any one team? Which one is it right now as far as those on the spread?
I would either guess Ohio State or Indiana, but maybe
Alabama.
I was going to say Alabama, but then I rethought that because I'm like, no.
Big public against a team that nobody really, we haven't really seen win at the highest level.
What's his name? Wins the Heisman. Like, I'm like, okay, maybe
Mendoza.
Now that's what they saw.
But people haven't seen them play. Like that. Not playing last week. I always think the teams that are at home watching, people forget about them. It's like, dude, remember how good these teams were? And I think last year, remember, all those teams lost. But last year, the difference was the teams that got the bye were the teams that won their conference championship. That is not the case this year. So remember, Ohio State did not have a bye last year, remember?
Right.
So, like, they played Tennessee first round, then went and beat Oregon on the neutral. So this year, the best 4 teams have the bye. I do not think we'll see, 3 of the 4 teams go down like we did last year.
I know, but with the points, I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I'm just saying, I think people remember what happened last year and think, oh, well, having the bye is a negative. I don't know, because injuries are like you play a team. I thought Alabama played great the final 2.5 to 3 quarters of that game, but
I thought Oklahoma.
Can they run the ball? They haven't been able to run the ball.
Gave it away.
I don't know about gave it away. Oklahoma's margin of victory all year long was very razor thin.
Very slim, yeah.
And you have to beat a team twice in 1 year. I don't know how you do it, but I don't think we should have rematches. We had 2 rematches. We had Oklahoma face in the same SEC. Then you had Tulane have to play Ole Miss. You telling me we couldn't figure out a way to flip these games around so that teams didn't have to play the same teams?
You would think that we would in today's
world. You couldn't flip James Madison and Tulane. To me, that's no difference. They're both non-power 5 teams. I thought that should have been switched. Now maybe you couldn't switch the Oklahoma and Alabama game, but I will say this: I think Notre Dame should have got in, and I think Texas should have got in because, one, those two teams obviously don't.
Wouldn't have that been a better matchup?
Dude, Oregon might have lost if they played Texas or
if they played Texas. Oregon plays Texas, and then Ole Miss plays Notre Dame.
Yeah, that would have been
Notre Dame. You know what I mean? I think Notre Dame wins that game.
Would have been some great games.
Or BYU.
Hopefully we'll get – I think they're going to go to 16 teams. It sounds like there are at least movement for that. At worst, they're going to change the rule where they're not going to just have to take the next best, highest rated non-conference champion or whatever, the conference champion, whatever that whole deal. That basically got JMU in because the ACC sucked this year. Like the ACC messed it all up because Miami should have been in the conference championship game. They would have won. Then Notre Dame would have got that last spot, and we'd only have to argue about, is it worth even having? To me, play a Power 5, non-Power 5 championship game. Like play their own 16 teams. Dude, if you played and you didn't go against, it would still get ridiculous ratings.
Right. What game out of the 4 are you looking forward to watching? Like, take the handicapper out of it. Be a fan. What are the ones?
Probably Oregon, Texas Tech. I mean, the line says it. It's 1 point. I mean, I think
there. Yeah,
you can make an argument either way. I'm interested to see, was the Big 12 good this year? And the only way we'll know is when Texas Tech plays someone outside their conference that's good, and they're finally doing so. So if that's for real, I think there's a chance that they can win it all. Like, you could make the argument that if the Big 12 was real, then Texas Tech should have been probably the second or third best team in the country all year long. But because they didn't play anybody outside,
right,
a conference that people.
What happens if Oregon beats them? Texas Tech went out and spent more money than anybody in college football this year.
I don't know about anybody, but they're close. There's a lot of guys that are like.
I think they have like the highest paid roster with NIL money, Texas Tech, and to get the first round bye, great. Which I don't know if it necessarily helps somebody. I think this round is when you should have home field advantage, not the first one. The first games should be played, like the Oregon James Madison should be played on a neutral territory, where Oregon Texas Tech, if you get a bye, you should have home field as well in the next round. So I don't know how that.
Not only that, remember these teams had to put all these teams played. All of them, right? All the bye teams played in their conference championship game. The other teams were at home, not having to get hurt, didn't have to play in the conference championship game, and they got a home game where they got a bunch of money and could maybe get warmed up. So Texas, it definitely is. He
get bounced against Oregon. It's bad.
I don't know how you make the best teams not play in the conference championship game because it's kind of like it's what it's called, the conference championship game. But then you get a bye game, but you don't get a home game. Like, I don't know. It just seems
right.
John Gruden has a thing where he says that every team that's basically in the playoffs has to play, but it doesn't go against you as far as like you're still going to get in to the basically that you determine who's getting in the playoffs before conference championship weekend, but everybody has to play for basically seeding. So that way, there's not an advantage for teams that like lose their last game of regular season to get a bye like it could be. Otherwise, it's like, dude, maybe we should lose. We don't have to play in the conference championship game, and
I think they're going to do away with conference championship games.
I don't know. It's too much money. All right, so let's talk.
Hold on, let's talk NHL real quick. Can the Canucks 5 straight? There's 4 hockey games on today. I have a half a unit on every one of them to go to overtime. I'm not even going to lie. I know it's degenerate.
I like the Blue Jackets plus 1.5. So let's do that. I can win.
Yeah, you could do that. I don't hate that. The only one that really I don't think I have one on the Lightning. I think I have the Lightning on the puck line. The Blues are god awful, but they scare me. But every other game, I
like the puck line on Seattle too. Those late 2 games, I like the puck lines. I
don't like Seattle.
I think it's going to be 3-2, 4-3.
But then again, Anaheim hasn't played well. I'm staying away from a lot tonight. The NHL, college basketball. I don't even. Do you have?
Because the NHL. Let me look at the schedule. So the NHL plays today. They play tomorrow. Then they're off the 24th, 25th, and 26th. So remember that as far as if you're playing games today or tomorrow.
Saturday.
Yeah. So it's a little different. I don't know why they do that. Telling me that they wouldn't do some crazy rankings if they did this on Christmas Eve, where there's nothing else going on. Or Chris, I don't think you do Christmas Day because then you got to go get
such an international sport. I think that a lot of it's like a mini break for them. They have it before, and I don't like it because tomorrow there's a whole slate of
You got to
NHL
be horse like the you got to be horse like the NFL and NBA. Like, dude, if there is a chance where we get a bunch of extra money, which believe me, they're playing the NFL games on Christmas Day because of money, and they play on Thanksgiving and Black Friday because of money. And so that's what the NHL needs to do. NBA. Let's talk to NFL. We haven't talked to NFL really at all. I think the Colts are in trouble tonight. I always say the first game back with like an injured guy, I like to take the team that like rallies around. It didn't work with Patrick Mahomes this past week, but we saw it last week. Philip Rivers came in. Look what he did. That second game, I think, is much harder to get up for because now it's like it's not like everybody like And to be honest, it's looking like the Colts could miss the playoffs. So it's like,
which is crazy because they started out.
They were 7-2, right?
So hot, yeah.
I mean, we were thinking like, are they going to win it all? They're going to be the number 1 seed, and now
1, 2, 3.
It's a very good possibility they don't make it.
Yeah, they were 7-1. They lost 7-2. They won 8-2, and then they've lost 4 straight to the Chiefs, Texans, Jaguars, and Seattle, which is not anything to like.
And some of those close games, overtime to the Chiefs. They really had Seattle dead to rights, it looked like. Couldn't finish out. And I mean, they just haven't. And then obviously the injury just to Daniel Jones. I still hope he gets comeback player of the year because he deserves it. I mean, what a turnaround. And really he kind of saved the Colts because obviously, the guy no one talks about, Anthony Richardson, I guess he's out or something. I don't even know why he's still out.
Just as out. And nobody knows why he's out or what.
They just don't want to play him. So they were like, hey, you got to find an injury so you don't have to
play him. Why are you not wanting to play him? If you don't want him that bad, why wouldn't you just cut him? He's on a rookie contract, so you don't owe him shit. Let him go be somebody else's problem because obviously they drafted him for a reason.
Yeah, you drop a guy top 10 usually or top 15 usually play him. So I like that tonight. I do think San Francisco takes care of business. My top play is a prop tonight, 6-unit prop play. I've been really good. I think it's like 18-6 or something going back 2 months with our prop plays. Most of my prop plays are in primetime games of either like Thursday, Monday.
Yeah,
not usually Sunday.
That's when I like to bet props anyways on those primetime games.
I'm trying to find stuff that people that just Joe Public isn't on, even though it's kind of a Joe Public play tonight. I think it screams winner. As far as the NBA tonight, I've got a team total tonight. I'm going to give it to you. It's a 4-unit play. I like the team total Jazz. When you see the Nuggets and Jazz play, the total is like 147 or something. The team total for them is 118.5. And you're like, Denver allows like 120 points a game. Their offense, they're number 1 in the league, but their defense, because, when you play up-tempo games, you allow a lot more points. And Utah loves to run. These are top 10 offenses. I think there's tons of points. The NBA, what was it yesterday? There was 150-some points one team scored yesterday, 158 or something.
I
was like, what the frick? I'm all for scoring.
Oh, the Bulls won 152 to 150 over the Hawks. But
302. Think about that. 302.
120. This is probably more like realistic, but the 124, 125. But that game.
Those are just normal. Those are normal games, by the way.
Those are normal type games. Yeah.
When you get to the 150s,
barely make it to 90.
150. Just think about the number
with no overtime.
Think about the number of possessions and shots just to get to that, because obviously you're going to shoot. I'm sure they both shot way better, but it's like you're not shooting 100%, so you still have to get a lot more possessions. So it's a crazy world. I do like the over team total though tonight in that one. I do think if you like an underdog that you want to sprinkle, I don't know what's wrong with Cleveland. Charlotte's already beat them once this year. And you're like, well, Cleveland's got revenge. Cleveland had a back-to-back revenge against the Chicago Bulls. And at the time, Chicago Bulls, just this past week, were playing great basketball. And they lost both on the road, then they come back at home, and it really was never close. I don't know what's wrong with them. People still think this is the Cleveland team that was the best team in the Eastern Conference for most of the year last year, if not all the year. This is not that team. I don't know why, but it's injuries a little bit. But they're not playing great basketball.
Agreed. Were you going to be here for Monday Night Football? tonight?
I will be here tonight. I will be.
You'll check us out. We might even get to wrangle the Cowboy to join us. We'll see. You know how his internet is.
I think he has his niece's or nephew's birthday or something
this week's gonna be real wonky for everybody. He's got people in town, getting people from the airport, whatever.
I'll probably won't make. I don't know. I don't know if I can make Thursdays a prime time, like a halftime. I don't know if Lenny.
What time is it? Hold on. Week 17. So it's about an hour and a half. So 5:15. I could probably do Thursday night.
I mean, it's Broncos and Chiefs. Yeah, it's Broncos and Chiefs. And so here's how the NFL schedule goes. There's 3 Thursday games, kind of very similar to Thanksgiving Day this year since it's on a Thursday. Saturday, they have 2 games, and then Sunday, a bunch of games. And then, of course, we have Monday Night Football. I think this is the last week for Monday Night Football, though. Let me look.
Because week 18, everybody just plays on Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah, so because they're trying to get teams that like
Saturday, Sunday, because they could flex.
I think it's just Sunday. I think they're all just Sunday, right?
They say it says 1-3 or 1-4, so it's either Saturday or Sunday in case they flex games.
But there is no Monday Night Football game.
No Monday night. No, next week is the last. It's tonight. Next Monday is the end.
I can't believe we are at the end of the regular season and we're in playoffs for the college football. It's crazy, crazy town. But my favorite thing of the year is March Madness. We're just closer to March Madness. That's what I'm gonna sell myself on that, even though football's you gotta convince yourself.
Yeah.
How are you getting through the days, Lenny, when it's football is going to be over? Like, we have to sell ourselves on something. It's like, oh shit, we got March Madness.
Last couple years I didn't have this problem because I knew that the Lions had more games after the regular season. No, I don't know.
I don't know what the Lions do. I was thinking,
I put the Santa hat on.
When it looked like the Lions were just going to get beat pretty bad last night, I was like, started to think, like, what if I'm the GM or the owner, what are we going to do to get us, like we've seen it. Sometimes you change coaches and you bring in kind of like the hitman coach. We talked about it, I think, last week. Tampa Bay did that. They brought in Gruden when they didn't think Tony Dungy would get over, and then they did win. Right. So it does work at times. I
don't think we're there yet. I would like I would like to draft offensive line first round, and defensive.
I don't think it's a player issue though.
No. I just say we need depth there. Any of those 2 positions, offensive line, anywhere, or on the defensive line, anywhere. And then I want a true offensive coordinator to replace Ben Johnson. We missed him this year. He got a little bit more personnel and changing. We missed him. I'm not going to lie. I thought we'd miss Aaron Glenn more, but no. I want Mike McDaniels. I would love to see him and Dan Campbell.
I don't think he's the type of guy for Dan Campbell, though.
Exactly. And that's what he needs. He needs that intellectual.
Like Mike McDaniel, the little skinny sweat jeans.
Exactly, with his capris on and all that.
I can't see that. But I
love stuff. I want it all.
I don't ever want. I try never to say, "Hey, fire guys," because
they have to fire him.
But I not just there, but even like Detroit or anywhere, it's like I just don't like to say fire offensive coordinators, defense coordinators, coaches, GM, because it's like everybody's trying to do their best. But at some point, I was like, are they better with Dan Campbell? If you said they had Ben Johnson as the head coach, would they be better?
I think we would have played differently to put us in better spots to win games. I'm not saying our record would be this or this if we had a different offensive coordinator. Our biggest problem is our defense. Nobody talks about that because Jared Goff, Monte Brown, Jamar Gibbs, Sam Laporte, just weapon after weapon after weapon. And our defense, it's Aiden Hutchinson. Name another player. No, you can't. Most people can't.
I think I would take Ben Johnson over, just because I think he's a little less just go for it all the time. And to me,
I think we're more talent on the offensive side of the ball, so I need a coach that can bring out more on the defense.
I'm just the opposite. If we're an offensive team, I want an offensive coach.
We've been that for 2 years.
Because I know we're going to have to outscore teams.
Championship game. That's
all it's the Andy Reid. Now, they have had good defenses, in this run that they've had. But when it started, it was like, hey, we're just going to have to outscore people because our defense isn't so good. And Andy Reid's an
that's how it
offensive coach.
started until, you know.
You know the one guy that has – where did Eric Bieniemy go? Remember how good he was on offense? And he went to Washington, I believe, in 1 year, and they got rid of him after – I think it was Washington. 1 year, got rid of him. Why is this dude not offense? I mean, when he was with the Chiefs, they had the best offense in the league. Like, where is that guy? Why hasn't he resurfaced? I'm sure he's somewhere, but I don't think he's offensive coordinator.
I don't know how you spell his name.
I'm a Bengals fan. I'm sure they're moving on from Zach Taylor. I'm sure that's what Joe Burrow has been doing, is this whole thing is like, dude, I don't like what I'm doing, and I want to get rid of the coach. And I'm hoping they bring in Joe Brady because, of course, he was his offensive coordinator at LSU when they put up those numbers. Joe Brady's been great. I think he would be great in Cincinnati with that offense.
He is currently the running backs coach for the Chicago Bears.
That's a pretty good spot for him. But I wonder why he hasn't been like, because I mean,
yeah, but
unless you say he doesn't get any credit for what he did he probably doesn't get credit for Kansas City because one, they had a great quarterback, and then you have Andy Reid, and you're just like, hey, he's just telling him what to do, basically. And it did not work out when he was at Washington.
No.
I mean, there was a lot of people. He got interviews for a lot of head coaching jobs, remember? And it was like, oh, he's going to leave a head coaching job. I mean, just never got the job, and then he leaves. I never said, why the hell would you leave that team?
Like Dan Campbell, he's not a defensive coordinator. He's definitely more of an offensive-minded coach, which is crazy when you see this.
He's tight end, so I mean, like.
Yeah, so, but we just need defense, but it's I don't know. It's depressing to talk about.
Yeah. Well, Jenny,
it is.
Lenny.
I mean, it is what it is.
Lenny, we have been through this. Bengals fan, Lions fan. I'm 50. You're over 50. We haven't freaking been in I mean, my Bengals have been in 3 Super Bowls in my lifetime, but it's not like we did have. I think we had a chance to win 2 of those, but it's like we basically every year it's the same damn thing. It's like
same damn thing. Yeah. Listen, I'm not giving up on this season, by the way. I'm just saying because I think the Packers are still could fall down, and the Bears.
My stepson is rooting against the Bengals this week.
Hold on, Bears got big heads right now. That's great.
Yes, they
enjoy that shit. Enjoy it. Because you're the Washington Commanders last year. That's all you are.
No.
And until, yes, they are. Yes, they are.
No, because last year they had one player. Washington had one player that they built their whole season on, and he had an unbelievable year. They went for all the 4 downs, got them all. That is not how the Bears are winning. The Bears are winning with good defense and running the ball. I know Caleb threw that unbelievable pass to win the game, and he has thrown some dimes this year. I'm telling you.
He will screw them, though.
Yeah, the way he takes those chances. You have that defense in that running game. You should not have to take chances. And
DeAndre Swift ain't him. We had him. And you know what Deuce Staley told him when he was the running back coach? He goes, you could be a great running back in the NFL if you want to be. But that's his problem. He's lazy. He called him out when we were in Hard Knocks. Next year, he was out. DeAndre traded him. We got David Montgomery in and then drafted the Jamar.
I can't wait to see. That's a great, I think if Detroit and Minnesota both miss the playoffs, which it looks like they could both miss the playoffs, I thought those 2 teams might be the best 2 teams in that league. In that, we didn't know about JJ obviously, but I thought that you had to trust the coaching staff, and I didn't think Green Bay. Now, obviously, when I was picking that, Parsons wasn't on the team, so that kind of changed things a little bit. But I mean, that's such a tough division. Those 2 teams are going to get better in the offseason, and these other 2 teams are going to have to pay everybody. So yeah. All right, Lenny.
Injury really hurt.
Make sure you join us at halftime tonight. I think this could be some interesting opportunities tonight. One, I think this game could be lopsided. So if it's lopsided, then I think you can. There's some. We'll talk about it.
By the way, Thursday night plus 145 winner. I gave out. What's his name? Throw an interception.
First play, right? Or first.
First drive. He came out in the 3rd quarter, got the ball, bang bang. He threw it in.
And I gave out.
And you hit your total
running back or something, and he at first play he goes for 40 yards or something, and so we got the over. So that might have been the other day if that was maybe.
We've been on a roll with this Monday night, Tuesday night primetime props. So check us out halftime. We'll be here right here for members we're only here like 10, 15 minutes at halftime.
And you don't have to be like hey, you get on my $49.99 and you get all levels. But for $4.99, you get all the live shows included with Lenny stuff. So it's not like you have to buy any of the higher levels.
There you go. There you have it. Good luck unless you're against us. We'll see you tomorrow, 1 o'clock Eastern. Take care, folks.